Old Ironsides, America's last standing armored division. Its history stretches back to 1940, with the redesignation of the 7th Cavalry Brigade as the 1st Armored Division at Fort Benning, Georgia. As Old Ironsides prepared for the looming darkness of war with the Axis powers, it was also critical in developing armored doctrine for the entire Army. 1st Armored was initially deployed to North Africa and was involved in the bitter fight for Tunisia, crushing Rommel's Afrika Korps. The division then set its sights on Sicily and then the Italian mainland. Leading the way through the Anzio breakout, Old Ironsides entered the Eternal City of Rome on June 4, 1944. 1st Armored continued pushing north into the Apennine Mountains, facing all the hardships of mountain combat with the tenacity expected of Iron soldiers. At war's end, the division's units served as part of the U.S. Constabulary. With the division's reactivation in 1951 in response to the Korean War, the division was then reduced in size to just Combat Command Alpha and became part of the Strategic Army Corps in 1959. The division was again brought up to full strength in 1962, becoming operational just in time for the Cuban Missile Crisis. The division immediately moved to Fort Benning, Georgia. This feat was executed in just 19 days. Old Ironsides engaged in massive war games, preparing for the possibility of invading Cuba. With the impressive prowess and flexibility shown by the 1st Armored, Old Ironsides was referred to as the Young Division in a hurry. During the Vietnam War, the division was assigned training duties until 1966. While the division itself did not deploy to Vietnam, several elements were detached to form the 198th Infantry Brigade. 1st Squadron 1st Cavalry Regiment and Company A 501st Aviation Regiment were never officially detached from the division, and its veterans earned the Old Ironsides patch for their service. At the conclusion of the Vietnam War, 1st Armored was ordered to West Germany on May 5, 1971, standing ready to defend Europe from any Warsaw Pact aggression. In November 1990, in response to Iraq's invasion of Kuwait, Old Ironsides was deployed to Saudi Arabia. On February 24, 1991, 1st Armored attacked north as part of 7 Corps. By war's end, Old Ironsides engaged no less than 14 Iraqi divisions, crushing all who opposed it. The division then returned to Germany and took part in the post-Cold War drawdown. In 1995, the division was given orders to deploy to Bosnia-Herzegovina. Its mission was to enforce the Dayton Peace Accords in the northeast part of the country, forming the core of Task Force Eagle and ensuring the ceasefire and legitimacy of the elections. 1999 saw Old Ironsides alerted for peacekeeping duties in Kosovo. Through a reshuffling of garrisons in Germany, the division continued its high-intensity training, keeping its soldiers among the best trained in the world. This focused confidence took a severe blow with the terrorist attacks of September 11th. While the division continued its rotations to Kosovo, Old Ironsides refocused itself for the inevitable call in support of the global war on terror. On April 15, 2003, the division began moving to the CENTCOM area of responsibility in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. With the assembly of Task Force Iron, 1st Armored became the core of the largest division-based task force in the history of the United States Army. At its height, some 39,000 soldiers were part of the task force. The task force secured some of Baghdad's roughest neighborhoods, protecting and improving the quality of life for over 5 million Iraqis. The Iron Soldiers soon turned their attention south to pacify the cities of Najaf, Diwaniyah, Al-Qut, and Karbala. Assuming responsibility for an area exceeding 17,000 square kilometers, the division's mission was to crush an uprising of militiamen dedicated to radical Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr. The division quickly outmatched the militia and restored stability to southern Iraq. From 2003 through 2011, 1st Armored Division maintained a nearly continuous presence in Iraq. The 2005 Base Realignment and Closure Commission announced that 1st Armored Division would move to a new home at Fort Bliss, Texas. This began with the reflagging of the 1st Cavalry Division's 4th Brigade to 4th Brigade 1st Armored Division on March 4, 2008. The completion of this move is the arrival of the division's Combat Aviation Brigade in the fall of 2011. This is the first time the entire division has been garrisoned in the same location in 40 years. With its light, striker, heavy, and aviation brigades, 1st Armored is the world's premier combined arms division. Leading the Army into the future, Old Ironside stands ready to meet America's enemies anytime, anywhere. Iron Soldiers.